Hello adventurers, I'm Gray, and today is a huge day because Hypixel Studios has finally, after several months of having no blog posts, finally released a blog post? 2 blog posts? 3? No. They've done 4 blog posts at the exact same time, all covering different topics about Hytale's development, and it's huge. There's lots of important stuff in here. I'm going to go over it. I haven't read any of them yet, so this is going to be a mix of live reactions along with opinions and thoughts for the future. I'm really excited. This is bringing back some hype for Hytale, so hopefully you all are interested in reading through this with me and getting excited with me. We're going to start with November 2019 development update. So, hi everyone. In this post, we're going to update you on our future plans for Hytale, discuss the reasons why we've been quiet, and explain how we're changing our approach to blog posts to ensure that we can be more transparent about the development of the game in the future. First of all, we'd like to offer an apology to everyone who had been disappointed by the lack of blog posts over the last couple of months. This has been a year of huge opportunities and equally huge challenges, and it's not always possible for us to communicate openly. However, we've wanted to do so. We're immensely grateful to everyone who has expressed their excitement for Hytale, produced fan works, or made articles or videos about our game. Thank you. Your enthusiasm is the reason that we're making Hytale, and also the reason that it's so important that we get it right. So as I've mentioned before, just a brief little note, they know that they've been lacking in communication and transparency, they want to improve, and I do feel like, sincerely, that Hypixel Studios wants to be in touch with the community because they know how important a community is to a game like Hytale or Minecraft or any sort of creativity-based game. So, moving on from there, we have this screenshot, which is just a, I guess, B-roll screenshot. I don't know if there's anything important in it, but it's a nice looking, I forgot what those things are called, circle shines? I don't remember. I haven't looked up a lot of the Hytale info, like I said, in months, because there hasn't been any updates in months, so I haven't kept track of it. But the scale of the reaction to our game has changed everything for us. Our origins as Minecraft server operators shapes who we are as a team, and in many ways we're still modders at heart. For our first solo project to receive this level of attention has been amazing but also intimidating. Expectations are high and rising all the time, and the level of anxiety on the team has risen alongside them. It's incredibly important to all of us that Hytale lives up to its potential, and as such it's been necessary to step back and take stock in order to ensure that we're headed in the right direction. Hytale is an ambitious project and we have set high standards for ourselves, but the bar has been raised even higher by the community response. It's fair to say that we weren't prepared for the degree of intense analysis that we've received, and we're highly aware of the risks that have faced highly anticipated games in the past. We know we've only got one chance to make a strong first impression with the finished game. I fully understand this statement here. So, they're a small studio making their first game ever, and people's expectations are astronomical for this game from what I've seen. People expect this to be Minecraft 2, the next fantastic game, and I think a lot of people forget, Minecraft didn't start out as a game with tons of content, tons of creative capabilities instantly. It started off with having barely anything in it. It was bare bones and didn't have that much, and not even that many people played it at first. Minecraft had a slow growth until it started growing faster and faster, and then it snowballed up. But Hytale has this hype right at the start. They have to live up to expectations right away. And for a studio that's never made a game like this before, this can be absolutely overwhelming. I can feel that, because if they mess this up, it's going to follow them for the rest of their lives, that they messed up their one chance to make a super huge game like this. So they're trying to be very careful, and I feel like that's to a fault, in that because they're trying to be so careful, they're hesitant to reveal anything, because they know that people like me, and people like Hytale YouTubers, and people on Reddit and everything, are going to take every screenshot, every little detail, look for hidden things, try and analyze everything, see the faults and see the good stuff. It's a lot of analysis, and I think that's good for building hype, that's good for building a community, but it's intimidating for the developer, and you have to keep that in mind. At the same time, this is a very fortunate position to be in, particularly for a new studio. Yeah, as I was saying, this is also a good thing. The success of the trailer is allowing us to be more ambitious, from the engine itself to our tools, the services surrounding the core game, and how we operate as a company. We built every aspect of Hytale from scratch, and this is allowing us to make improvements across the board. But even so, the scope of the task ahead is massive. We've previously said that Hytale will be ready when it's ready because we're serious about providing the community with a game that meets their expectations. We can now be a little more specific. Factoring in the scale of the project and the high bar we want to hit, we're planning for Hytale to be playable by everyone in 2021. Big news. That is huge, because that is a tentative release date. Keep in mind, this is not set in stone. That is a planned date, 2021. It could happen later than that. Who knows? It depends on how fast development goes, how much they want to add before the game releases. But that means don't expect the game to be fully playable in 2020 by next year. There's a lot that they're going to work on. So we're very aware that this is a longer wait than many were expecting, but we believe that we owe our players the best game possible that we can make, and that it's important to be realistic about what it'll take to get there. What's more, the community's interest has played a huge role in helping us pursue these goals. And here's a nice little castle thing. Is there something in that door of the castle? You can see some of a palm tree. Oh, it's just a little vase or whatever. Don't worry about it. Okay, the hype surrounding Hytale has raised our profile within the game's industry, and this has allowed us to pursue partnerships that will help us to level up as a studio and make a better game. We realized over the course of this year that escalating our plans would require more resources, and it's taken time to figure out the best way to go about getting them. We still don't think that crowdfunding is the best fit, but it's equally important that we approach potential partnerships in a way that will allow us to deliver the best result for players and for content creators. As players ourselves, we understand the worries that accompany processes like this, the concern that the spirit of the game can get lost as stakes and budgets rise. We want to reassure everyone that this is at the forefront of our minds and that preserving the values of the team and the project is hugely important to us. We want Hytale to be bigger and better than you're expecting, and to pull this off as quickly as we responsibly can, but we're not going to rush into anything without considering the needs of our team, the project, and the community. All of this takes time, and it's one of the reasons why we've had to stay relatively quiet through the middle of 2019. In some cases, unexpected setbacks have forced us to change plans and delay planned posts. We can only apologize for the times when we've not lived up to our commitment to communicate more openly, and we appreciate all of the Hytale communities, on Reddit, Discord channels, YouTube, and elsewhere, who have stuck with us while we figured all this out. And look at this little picture here. This is a cozy little study room with bookshelves and sun rising and all that, or setting, I can't really tell. So, yeah, they've had a lot going on. They had a lot of expectations, as I was saying. I'm just going to finish reading this post now. We've also been held back by our decision to focus on showing parts of Hytale that we consider to be launch ready. At our current stage of production, many parts of the game are approaching that level, but aren't quite there yet. Other aspects are much earlier in development or are awaiting revamps. We've been holding ourselves back from revealing these aspects for fear of showing too much too soon. However, we completely understand those in the Hytale community who would prefer us to be a bit more open about where we're at, so that's what we're going to do from now on. That means we'll be showing more work in progress aspects of the game, which may include features that aren't fully polished yet, or may change between now and launch. In fact, we'll be actively seeking feedback on certain features to ensure that we're headed in the right direction. This is a fantastic response to this controversy that's been going on with lack of communication. It's not much of a controversy. I mean, it's not too big of a deal, but it's been getting on the minds of the Hytale fans. And it looks like they've taken that to heart, and they know that they need to be more open, and in order to do that, they might need to show things that aren't quite done yet. I think that's completely fine, though, so long as they're very clear in the blog posts that this is a work in progress, it's not finished, it could be changed, and maybe leave it open to feedback, or if players have an idea, or potential players, the fans, have ideas for ways features could be improved that are work in progress. That would be a cool way for players to get involved in developing the game. So yeah, I think that's a really great idea to do that type of thing. We know that players are waiting for answers on sensitive topics like beta testing, release platforms, and our business model. Unfortunately, it's still too soon for us to make announcements in this regard, but we know how important these subjects are, and they've not been forgotten. One of the reasons we've been wary of discussing subjects like these in the past is because we don't want to make commitments that we can't fulfill. With that in mind, we hope the community will understand that the plans we've laid out above are just that. Plans. If we need to make changes for the health of our team or the project, we'll do so. In the meantime, all we can say is thank you for your continued patience. Your interest in our game means a huge amount to all of us, and we're excited to involve you more closely in the ongoing development of Hytale. In addition to blog posts dedicated to specific features, we're going to start producing broader development updates showing off the work we've been doing as it happens. We're not going to be able to show everything, we're still very mindful of spoilers, but we're planning to open up much more than we have in the past. We're getting things started with a look back over some of the progress we made recently, and we're also revealing some exciting changes to our engine that have allowed us to overhaul how the game looks with a visual update. Finally, we've got 4 new tracks from the Hytale soundtrack to share, which is awesome. I'm going to put those in the background of this video. Okay, so those are the 3 other blog posts that have been released today, and I'm going to look through all 3 of those in just a moment. This is going to be a pretty long video, I think, just due to how long and in-depth these blog posts are. But once again, thank you for coming with us on this journey. What can I say except you're welcome? This was a really great blog post. I enjoyed this one. It really cleared up a lot of the controversy, a lot of the problems the community's been having, and they're going to try and be more open in the future from what I've gathered. I don't want to dawdle too long though, because since there's 3 other blog posts to read, I don't want this to take an hour. So we're just going to quickly move to the graphics update, Hytale graphics update. So Hytale is based on a custom engine that has been built from scratch over the last 4 years. This year, our engine developers have continued to upgrade our technology with new features, including real-time shadows, improved water effects and bloom, and a host of improvements to rendering and particle effects. In this post, we're going to showcase these changes and then show you how it all comes together in a gameplay clip. Oh, that's cool. Okay, first, a quick note about hardware compatibility. while we've added some dramatic new features to our engine, our baseline system requirements haven't changed. It will still be fully playable on a low-end system with an integrated graphics chip. In fact, many of the features you'll see below work on integrated Intel GPUs. We're fully aware of how important performance is, however, so we'll provide the option to customize your graphics settings to suit your setup. Despite the progress we've made, everything we're revealing in this post represents work in progress. The look and feel of Hytale will keep evolving as we continue to work on the game. So Hytale will be just like Minecraft in that you can literally run it on pretty much every device. Even if it's on super low settings, you can run it on almost anything, which I think will be really great for accessibility. Basically, it'll allow anyone with a crappy laptop to play Hytale, similar to how they can play Minecraft. And that'll attract the same crowd even more, so that's cool. So first of all, we have real-time shadows, which you can see in detail in this photo here. You can see shadows coming off of the buildings and off the trees and all that stuff based off of the sun's position in the sky, which I think is pretty cool. I didn't pay too much attention to shadows in previous posts, but if I can put a comparison on the screen, I'm guessing it looks a lot better now. So one of the biggest changes to Hytale's look and feel over the last few months has been the addition of cascaded shadow mapping. Characters in the environment now cast detailed shadows that react to the position of the sun and moon, a change that should be apparent in every screenshot and video clip we post from now on. Okay, so it's definitely a big change from here forward, and I'm guessing even like you, when you walk around, is going to cast a shadow based off where the sun is, and that's really cool. Oh yeah, the next photo has that. Oh, even the axe you're holding and all that stuff. I like that. That's really cool, and it goes with all the accessories that you put on as well and adapts to it. Okay. Entity shadows reflect the exact shape of the creature or character, including any equipped weapons or gear, and the animation being performed. That's really awesome. Look at this, is very atmospheric. Let's take a zoom in of this. Even the little mushrooms on the ground and the little flowers give a. Actually, the flowers don't really give much, but the mushrooms do give a little bit of a shadow. I like the atmosphere of the shot, and you can see some towers and stuff in the background too. I'm guessing this is in Zone 3 Borea. When combined with the weather and time of day presets that we outlined in a custom content post, real-time shadows can help produce some very atmospheric environments. To get the full effect, you've got to see it in motion though, so here's a time-lapse showing time of day transitions in a variety of settings. Okay, let's zoom in on this. Oh, this is like whenever someone sets their camera or whatever on a skyscraper in like a city and you just see the shadows revolve around the skyscrapers and stuff like that. It reminds me of that. Oh, this is pretty cool. If only the graphics looked good. There we go. The resolution, it fixed itself. Okay. Even like, oh, this is awesome. This looks really cool. This is basically like having a shaders pack in Minecraft, except built straight into the game. I think that looks really nice. And it's a work in progress though, so they're still going to work on improving it. I'm not an expert on graphics, so I don't even know. Like I don't pay too much attention to graphics in games, but I do like it to look good. And to me, this looks pretty good. Water effects. We've also added additional depth and sophistication. They've added depth to the water. I hate myself. With the addition of reflections, refractions, waves, edge, whitening, and more. Take a look at the far riverbank in the screenshot to see how trees are reflected. So yeah, you can kind of see if you look in the distance there's like tinges of green in the water from the trees reflecting off of it. Like with the reeds or the cattails located near the front, you can see that there's sort of a white outline where they touch the water, which is kind of what happens in real life whenever something enters the water. Similarly, around the person's legs, it has the same thing. I think it looks pretty cool. Okay, and we see a little bit more. This is what I love. Okay, this is what I like. Underwater. Because my favorite element is water. My favorite color is blue. I've always been a water and ice. I like ice also, but water and ice are my favorite types of things. But the water levels in games, like water physics and stuff like that, oftentimes aren't good because moving around in water can be frustrating and floaty and weird, and it can often look bad. But Minecraft improved it a while ago, and I love being in the water way more. And now this looks really good. I love the light refractions on the bottom of the ocean. I love it. The screenshot demonstrates the benefit of underwater caustics, which have helped to create a more immersive effect by exploring beneath the waves. We're continuing to work on our water tech, and these effects are only going to improve between now and launch. Bloom and sun shafts, the two features I tend to turn off when I run a game, but maybe I'll leave them on for Hytale, I don't know. So take a look here and you can see it's not too extreme, but there's a little bit of sun shafts coming in between the leaves and bloom effect and stuff. So bloom and sunshaft effects are another immersion boosting addition to help bring Hytale's environments to life. You can see both effects most clearly in the area around the bison's horn. So, okay, let's take a look here. I can't tell too clearly. No, there is a little bit of bloom around the bison's horns. I don't really I can't really tell too well, but I can see a little bit. The next shot demonstrates the dramatic effect created when sunlight breaks through into an underground environment, in this case one of its own mysterious sources of light. Please note that sun shafts like these are currently not compatible with integrated graphics cards. Shame. But they're an example of what can be achieved with more powerful hardware. Oh, okay, now I can see this. This is where it has the most benefit in my opinion. In underground builds like this, or builds where you have like holes in the ceiling and you want to let rays into a structure, that is the benefit of light rays, and that looks cool. Like, this looks like it could be some spiritual tree that ancient civilizations praised or something and turned it into a monument. Okay, other improvements, we haven't stopped there. We've also continued to work on particle effects. We've amped a huge number of textures and improved screen space ambient occlusion to create a stronger sense of definition around objects. These changes are hard to demonstrate individually, so instead here's a series of shots demonstrating the effects these engines will have when taken all together. First, a pair of adventurers going for a walk in Zone 3. So look, okay, you can see the light rays, you can see the different textures that they added. It actually looks quite different from the original Hytale. I'm not going to put a comparison shot here, but I do remember in the old Hytale screenshots, it looked a lot more cel-shaded, more cartoony, because a lot of these shadows and sun rays and bloom and all that stuff wasn't there. So it was just these colorful characters in a colorful world. But this adds a lot more realism and immersion and depth to it, which sounds weird in a block-based building game, but it's true, it does make it look quite a lot better, and it gives it its own unique style even more than Minecraft, because Minecraft doesn't have a lot of these things without shaders. Okay, here's another example of how shadows dramatically change the feel of a wooded area. So take a quick zoom in here, and we see branches, and the shadows from branches going through along with the full tree shadows going down, and you have little spots of light shining in between the leaves along with darkness in the woods. Oh, that's so atmospheric. Okay, and here's an indoor area. Note the complex shadows created by the sun as it passes through the window. Okay. Okay, that's cool. This looks cool. This looks awesome. I love it. I love it. If every type of glass has different effects like this, where it just matches the style, that's really awesome. So screenshots and video demonstrations are helpful for focusing on specific effects, but we understand the community wants to see how all of this comes together in the game itself, so here's a gameplay clip. This one's got sound. So we expect this clip to be closely analyzed, but bear in mind everything you see is subject to change, including the combat system, which is in the process of being improved and expanded. Even so, we hope you've enjoyed this glimpse into the progress we made of Hytale's engine over the course of 2019. Okay. Be ready for this video right here. This one's going to be a big one. So let me it has audio on. Let me turn it to 1080p. Full screen this. This is going to be analyzed in depth. I might analyze this in depth, but if I do, it won't be done until like next week or beyond that because I have finals coming up. But at some point, I'm going to look at this video, analyze it firmly. But let's just watch it. Okay. I'll pause it now. So we're going to go step by step through this video, just in a little super brief analysis. So I'm going to pause it when I see something. So you can see here, he's using a hammer to sledgehammer this skeleton right here. And you can see he has a goal at the top right to kill the skeletons. So he's trying to kill these guys. And it looks like the way you swing at the enemies, the direction you swing from, knocks them in that direction, which is really cool. And they can get knocked into each other, which kind of causes combos and things like that. Then here he does an upward swing, which seems to be a more powerful hit because it one-shots that skeleton. I'm not sure if it's because it's an archer, it's weaker to physical attacks, or if it's just a really powerful hit, but I'm thinking that's a special power hit. And he's also picking up the remains of the skeleton at the bottom right of the screen, you can see. Now he starts using a sword, which doesn't knock back as far, but hits more rapidly. And this is a magic, so these are 3 types of weapons. Magic can hit at range, and I assume have different elements. And the Ninja Charlie T, the other dev, has a shield going on, which seemed to have blocked the hits from that skeleton for a moment. And finally they get to this chest here, where he finds a new weapon. And you can switch from third person to first person whenever you want. I think they mentioned that before, of course. But look how he swung that sword. It looked like he was blocking with that fire sword because he turned it diagonal, or he turned it horizontally for a moment. So it looks like you might be able to block with regular weapons too. Probably not as effectively as shields. I might be overanalyzing this, I don't know. But I can say that this looked really good. Just on first glance, it looked really good. And that's all for this analysis for now. I need to save any more for a future analysis. So moving on, we have 2 more blog posts. This next one should be quicker because it's new music. 4 new pieces of music from the Hytale soundtrack. Over the last year, Hytale composer Oscar Garvin has produced dozens of new tracks, and in Hytale, each zone has a distinct set of music that helps establish its atmosphere and sense of place. Many biomes and points of interest have their own unique soundtracks too, and we're currently looking into ways to incorporate music into other aspects of adventure mode in an equally dynamic way. Below, you find 4 new tracks from the Hytale soundtrack covering areas from zones 1, 2, and 3. We've also produced some short video clips to give you a sense of the areas where you might hear this music in the game. These tracks are available as part of the Hytale OST playlist in our YouTube channel, along with the 5 pieces we've already released. So this one's called Herbalist Refuge. You can kind of tell from the background, it's in the wooded area. I'm not going to be playing this music right now, because I already have music in the background of this video, but if you want to hear these full songs for yourself, you can go to this blog post, I'll have it linked in the description, and you can listen to them on your own, because they all sound really good. Oscar Garvin makes some good music, and they're very atmospheric, and I actually really like the atmospheric music. This track is intended to evoke a sense of peaceful exploration in the deep forests and green riverlands of Zone 1. While this region certainly has its dangers, it's also a place that offers sanctuary and that has in the past enjoyed the protection of Gaia herself. Music has the power to make you feel the law, even if it's not immediately apparent, Oscar says in a weird accent. And this is, of course, another nice little peaceful shot of Zone 1. I don't see too many things that are new here. I see, of course, that little sparrow in the tree. There's, of course, the does on the ground. You have the grass. You have the birds in the back. I see a bear in the background as well. Yeah, but as they said before, they're very aware of spoilers. They don't want to show off stuff that they're not ready to show off. So I don't think I'm going to be finding anything hidden in the background of these videos that isn't meant to be there. But if there is something hidden, that means they're meant to show us that, so that's pretty cool. Next we have Canyon of the Many Suns, which I assume is for Zone 2, very clearly. I was imagining a lost temple hidden deep within a canyon, Oscar says about this piece of music, which comes from Zone 2. Traversing treacherous terrain takes effort, and this track attempts to reflect both the mystery of the unknown and the sense of accomplishment that accompanies the end of a long journey. So, yeah, here we have... Wait, are these Fearans? Are these the Fearans? They look quite a bit different from the Fearans that I remember from the past. I mean, they still look cute. I feel like they look, I don't know, a little bit more fox-like than they did before. Maybe I'm just imagining things. I don't know. But this is a pretty cool shot of Zone 2, of course. It's a ravine, it looks like, or a ravine, however you pronounce it. And yeah, that's basically it for this one. Moving on, we have Ancient Tombs, which I guess is another Zone 2 one. Venture deep into one of those lost temple entrances, and you may hear this track. I was imagining a dark desert tomb where you might happen upon an occult ritual, Oscar says. Evil magic runs through the veins of this hidden ruin. So, hidden ruin, as they say. This is the ruin. Has the door. They're not going to show us inside clearly, but if you go into this place, the music for this song is going to play. Once again, if you want to hear what music matches these videos, go to the blog post linked in the description, and it'll be pretty cool. Snowfall, which I'm guessing is a Zone 3 thing. This track from Zone 3 is very different, reflecting the wintry climbs. Is that supposed to be chimes? Wintry chimes of this beautiful but frequently dangerous part of Orbis. I was imagining a vast snowy landscape with snow on the pine trees with some hints of my home country Norway, Oscar says. Oh, sorry, I forgot the accent. I evoke the feeling of these images in my mind and choose instruments and harmonies accordingly. I write in this role-playing kind of way to try and give a level of cinematic immersion to the player. So this is Zone 3 Borea, and this is a nice little atmospheric shot that you can kind of play on loop as you listen to the nice wintry songs. And there's a ram over there, and beyond that I don't really see too much. It's like, I think there's like a little cage or something near the frozen riverbank. Can't really tell. There's some glowing mushrooms on the far left, but nothing too exciting. Okay, and that's all for this blog post, so we could go ahead and move on to the last one. I will say I really like the music they've done here, but that's really nothing new, because I always like the music they do. So we have Progress Update, November 27th, 2019. This is a pretty big update, telling us where they are and where they're going to go. So Hello again! We've already put out quite a few posts today, but this one's a bit different. Instead of focusing on a single feature or big reveal, we're going to round up a selection of work that the team has been doing lately. This is one way that we're changing up how we approach this blog. If people enjoy this format, then you can expect us to make more use of it in the future. As outlined in the November development update, we're planning to start showing aspects of the game that are pretty early in development, while being mindful of spoilers, of course. As such, please bear in mind that everything you see represents work in progress, and may change substantially by the time Hytale is released. So take everything here with a grain of salt, because it's probably going to change. But if you do like a feature, then be sure to let Hypixel Studios know, because I'm sure they want to know what people are looking forward to, what they want and what they don't want. So as outlined in the November development update, we're planning to start showing aspects of the game that are pretty early in development. Oh, I already read that. What am I doing? New biomes! Over the last few weeks, 2 new biomes have been incorporated into the World-Gen systems for Zone 1 and 2. In Zone 1, you might encounter an autumn forest, a densely wooded area where the leaves have turned deep orange and brown. Basically, the season we're in right now, where I live. Autumn, fall time, literally all the leaves are coming down today. Like, we have heavy winds over here. I know you guys don't care, but we have heavy winds going on over here. And, like, I looked at my tree this morning in my front yard, covered in leaves. Now, it's nearly empty, straight up, like super heavy winds. Anyway, explore to find mushrooms, pumpkin crops, and some decorative glowing flora. So, yeah, this is the autumn place. Look at this. There's the crops going on here. It looks like a very peaceful, pretty place. Yeah, here's some more pictures of this whole area. Oh, we're gonna get to that later. So in Zone 2, we may stumble across an oasis, which are verdant areas that provide stark contrast to the desert wilderness and an opportunity to harvest materials that may not be easy to find elsewhere. Be mindful, however, that you're not the only creature that may be drawn to an isolated lagoon. Yep, basically all the friendly and dangerous creatures in the desert are going to be at the oasis, because that's where most creatures are able to survive, so look at this. Oh, this place looks lush and pretty. I like it. And is this bringing me back to the Minecraft biome vote, where they had the option to bring an oasis to the desert, people voted for it, and they didn't, so the desert is going to be pretty barren for a long time. I mean, watch Hytale get their desert having an oasis before Minecraft actually updates their desert. That would be kind of funny. Okay, and now we have the farming progress. So, farming is an important part of Hytale, and the last few months have been spent refining the design and implementation of key aspects of the feature, including tilling, planting, and harvesting crops that grow in real time over the course of several in-game days. So they're wanting to make farming really good. Who knows, maybe Hytale, like they said, you could play the game in basically whatever role you want. You could be a farmer, you could be an adventurer, you could be a warrior or trader. So saying that you can be a farmer, maybe there'll be a whole system in Hytale where you can just farm crops, like harvest them, make money, sell them, and just make it a Harvest Moon, like Stardew Valley type thing if you really want to. In fact, I'm almost certain that people who play Hytale, like some really creative person out there, is going to make a game mode in Hytale. With how flexible it is, they're going to make a Harvest Moon or Stardew Valley style game within Hytale where you're just farming the whole time. And I would love that. I think that would be really awesome, especially if you could play that with friends. You can just get on there and not worry about fighting monsters and just try and grow your economy, upgrade your farm, spend your money on upgrades and build up yourself. That would be really awesome. Anyway, that's just something that I hope other people do because I like creativity. And here's another look at the farm. So in the hotbar, you can see that they have that little farming wagon that was in the reveal trailer and also in this photo here. He has that in his hotbar, so that's a structure you can make and place down. I'm guessing it's like a farm crafting menu or something along those lines, like a station. He also has seeds. So the seeds actually look like packs of seeds in this game, and a pouch of what I believe is fertilizer or mulch or something along those lines. So this is more in depth than Minecraft's farming system, which I know I make a lot of Minecraft references. I think that's fair. It's way more than Minecraft has by far. Like, there's a whole system here being done to make crops a fun, interesting thing to do, which I'm all for. The next step is livestock farming and animal domestication, including an animal happiness system that will react to a variety, that is just like Stardew Valley, that will react to a variety of factors, including feed, availability of bedding, and company of similar creatures. So, new monsters and mysteries, that thing is absolutely horrifying. Great. Many new creatures and adversaries are in the works. You can expect to see some of these cropping up, because they just talked about crops, hey, in screenshots and future posts, and even later in this one. In the meantime, here's a sneak peek at a new undead creature. Stare at him. Let him haunt you in your dreams. He is going to wreck your face. Anyway, this is all just a sample of the progress we've been making with Hytale's adventure mode. we can't wait to show you even more. We're going to close out this update with some in-development shots of environments and creatures from elsewhere. There will be time to go into more detail in the future, but for now, we hope you enjoy this glimpse into some of the challenges you'll face when you encounter some of the adventure mode's as yet uncharted territories. So, I'm just going to click on this, and I'm not going to see what it is until we pull it up, but let's do it. Okay, so we have this guy who's in a dungeon. Is this a sewer level? This looks like a sewer level, but it has minecart tracks, so I'm not quite sure what type of dungeon this will be. I like the lamps that they have going on here. They look sort of a mix between synthetic lamps and also a little bit organic and creepy. This whole place looks moist and creepy. I don't like it. Okay. Oh, that's cute. I'm not a big dinosaur guy. Like, I don't know the name of any dinosaurs, but I do think dinosaurs can be really cool or really cute, and I think this one is really cute. But there is that Tyrannosaurus in the back about. I don't think it's called a Tyrannosaurus, but he's about to wreck that adventurer back there. Okay. So, and this is in the underground of zone. What was the zone that had like the really lush forest and stuff underground? Was it zone 4? I think it was zone 4, like the lava zone. I forget the names of these zones. I need to look back on it at some point, but I remember it was really hot on the surface, but it had the whole forest and dinosaurs and stuff underground. So I guess this is below that. And that's really cool. And okay, where's this? Looks a little pungent. Yeah, it looks like a sewer area. And here, why is my glass of water shaking? Because of that dinosaur in the back, of course. Okay, so that is it for these 4 blog post updates. Overall opinions on them are that they're really good. There's a lot of info that they gave here, and people were saying that there's no way that these blog posts, once they reveal them, like, people were expecting 1 blog post on Friday, I believe. Instead, they pull up 4 on Wednesday, and people were thinking, how could 1 blog post make up for all the stuff that they've not posted for so long? I think these 4 blog posts, well, I don't think they made up for everything. Don't get me wrong, I don't think this was the perfect way to do it, to stop saying anything for 3 months and then suddenly post 4 things. But I do think they did a pretty good job at apologizing, at telling us what's going on, about showing us some cool new features and updates they made to the game, some new music tracks, some new graphical updates, and in keeping us interested for future posts, along with making sure that, and making us aware that they're going to be posting more often from here on. I think this is a huge step in the right direction, and I'm glad that Hypixel Studios is taking community feedback into consideration in what they're doing and how they're communicating and in the development of Hytale as a whole. So that's my thoughts on these blog posts and the development of Hytale. Looks like I'm going to have quite a bit of work to do in the future with all these future blog posts coming out, and I'll be sure to keep you all updated. So if you want to stay in touch with all the newest Hytale news and reactions and things like that, subscribe to this channel. I'm going to be doing that as it comes up, along with Let's Play videos of whatever games I feel like doing, and definitely Hytale for the most part once that comes out. You can ignore the Let's Plays if you're not a fan of that, but I will keep you all updated on the Hytale news. So hopefully you all are excited about the game just as much as I am, and I hope to see you all on the next adventure.